You probably clicked on this video because you care about being the best platoon leader that you can be. And I'm not just talking about getting the most qualified OER, but to make a positive impact and be the best leader that your soldiers deserve. Hey, this is Josh from the O-Call, and I'm going to give you 5 tips for being the best platoon leader. The first tip is about making major changes within your first 30 days as PL. Don't come in and start making a bunch of changes. Nobody cares about your legacy as PL, your new platoon name, or motto. Plus, soldiers like consistency. They're there for years at a time, while you're only going to be there for maybe a year. They're going to have multiple platoon leaders during this time, and it sucks having to change stuff up every year. As a new platoon leader, you should primarily observe and discuss platoon and soldier dynamics with your platoon sergeant over your first 30 days. Get to know your soldiers a bit, get to know your capabilities and what your mission sets are. After that first month of discussing changes with your platoon sergeant, then start making small changes if you feel like it's necessary. You'll get a lot more respect from your soldiers and subordinate leaders if you do it this way. Now, don't get me wrong, if there's a major change that needs to happen in the first 30 days, then absolutely change it. But be sure to talk it over with your platoon sergeant first. Oh, and also make sure to watch this video all the way to number 5 because it'll set you up for success throughout the rest of your Army career. All successful Army officers use tip number 5. For this next tip, I need to tell you about my friend Mike. He became an infantry platoon leader at Fort Lewis back in 2019. He had about 3 years of prior service, he was a PT stud, and he usually got what he wanted. However, when he took his first platoon, not only did he immediately start changing things, he also didn't listen to his squad leaders when they tried to give him advice. He thought that because he did this job as enlisted, he's been in longer than some of his NCOs, that he knew what was best for the platoon, regardless of what his subordinates told him. The second tip is coming in with a teach me mindset. Even if you can recite the Ranger Handbook from start to finish, you're not going to be the most knowledgeable soldier in your platoon. Another thing about the teach me mindset is that you can get to know your soldiers better and show them that you actually care. Even if you already know all about the topic you're asking them about, get them to teach you random things about their job from time to time, and you might be surprised with what you learn. One of the reasons I like getting soldiers to teach me things is that it reinforces their own learning. One of the best ways to truly learn something is to teach it, so you'll be making them better as well. Hey, if you're finding value in this content, then consider subscribing to the O-Call podcast. Also, check out our LPD series for more valuable content. And with that comes tip number 3. Make sure you're giving an initial counseling to your subordinate leaders. Even if you don't feel like you know how to counsel soldiers that have more experience than you, you should still give them your expectations and standards. If you don't know what your expectations or standards should be, then take a look at or ask for an initial counseling from your commander, and then nest your expectations and standards with theirs. You could also look up templates online if you need some ideas. Oh, and when it comes to counseling your platoon sergeant, you can literally make it a conversation and ask them what you should be expecting from them and what they should be expecting from you. That's a good way to break the ice and get to know each other and establish those expectations and standards without sounding like some new guy telling a senior enlisted advisor what they should or shouldn't be doing. Alright, on to number 4, and you'd be surprised how many PLs don't know how to do this. I'm talking about reading an ESR. This one's really important if you have equipment or vehicles. It'll inform you on the statuses of your deadlines or faulty equipment, their parts on order, and give you an idea of what missions your platoon can or can't accomplish at any given time. I'm going to make a deep dive video on this in the near future, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. You can find smart card templates like this one online for free, and you'll be surprised how much you'll be set apart from your peers by knowing how to read an ESR and using it to understand your equipment and be prepared to talk about your current capabilities. Alright, so far we had number 1, making changes in your first 30 days. Number 2, the teach me mindset. Number 3, conducting counselings. And number 4, knowing how to read an ESR. And now we're on to number 5. And like I said, all successful Army officers do this. It's self-development and being a lifelong learner. This could be anything from reading books, taking courses, watching free YouTube videos, finding a mentor, etc. It doesn't even have to be military related. You could be learning about business, psychology, marketing, communications, investing. It doesn't matter. Just learn things that complement being a leader, and it'll pay dividends in the long run. If you're not sure where to start, and you got about 8.5 minutes, I'll give you some tools that every Army leader should know about and be using. Click on this video next to learn what I'm talking about.